All right. Welcome everyone. Welcome to this episode of Budget Ki Baat. I have with me Mr. Nilesh Shah, who is the Group President and MD of Kotak Mahindra AMC. Uh, Nilesh sir, of course, needs no introduction at all. But still, as is customary, I'll say a few brief words, which are definitely not sufficient to introduce him. But still, he has, of course, led the Best Fund House of the Year award at all the mutual funds where he has worked, and he's also a part-time member of the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister. He's part of the UIADI. He's also a member of the Board of Association of Mutual Funds in India and a member of COBOSAC committee of the SEBI. And that is just not enough to describe how much he has taught the world of investing in India, at least, and beyond, of course. So, sir, let's get to the meat of the topic, which is the union budget. Let's talk about the macros first, and the two things that are tracked the most, that had the most expectations from the government, which are talked about every year, are the capex and the fiscal deficit. To what extent do you think these two metrics have justified the complex equation that is inflation versus growth?
So this budget came at a time when our growth rate declined from 8.2% last year to maybe somewhere around 6.5%, plus or minus something. The growth slowdown was visible in urban consumption, and it was attributable to government spending slowing down. Also, geopolitical situation. The markets also witnessed heavy FPI selling ahead of budget, and it was creating doubts in the mind of investors. Is there a quit India movement going on? The budget had tough task: support consumption, support growth, spend money on capex, and yet maintain path of fiscal prudence. This budget is a Triveni Sangam where all the three objectives have been achieved. First, path of fiscal prudence has been maintained. Next year's as well as current year's fiscal deficit will be lower than expectation. And more importantly, for next 6 years, debt to GDP ratio of India at central level will come down to 50%. कोई माँ बाप नहीं चाहता कि अपने बच्चों पे कर्जा छोड़ के जाए. सरकार भी हमारी माई बाप है. Why should they live debt for the next generation? We are moving in that direction. Second, they have put 1 lakh crore in the hands of middle class taxpayers through tax rebate. Hopefully this money will be spent, and that will create a multiplier effect for growth. While this year government could not spend money on capex as much as budgeted estimate, next year the target remains the same, 11.20 lakh crore versus 11.11 lakh crore. More importantly, government has given 1,50,000 crore to state by way of zero coupon 50-year loan, as good as equity, for spending on infrastructure. So this budget is a Triveni Sangam of boost to consumption, infrastructure investment, and yet following the path of fiscal prudence. We could not have asked for more.
Absolutely, sir. And sir, how happy are you with the capex number? While it is in absolute terms already quite a big number, but are you happy with the growth in this number as well?
So numbers don't mean anything if they are not spent. 11,11,111 crore sounded audacious as well as auspicious number. But kharcha to nahi hua. So I am happy with 11,20,000 crore number, provided it is well spent. I am happy with 15 lakh crore, which includes grants, and 1,50,000 crore loan, provided it is well spent. आपने विशु भाई वो एक हिंदी मूवी देखी होगी जहां पे कुआं खुदा था पेपर पे बट रियल लाइफ में था ही नहीं, तो ऐसा स्पेंडिंग नहीं चाहिए।
Right. Right, absolutely. Sir, a lot is being talked about this budget wherein the consumer side of the story is gonna come out. Do you think this is a pivotal moment wherein from a capex-led growth we are going towards a consumer-driven growth of India?
मेरे हिसाब से विशु भाई, इट्स नॉट only towards consumption, because there is 17% growth in capex between center and grants to the state. That's not a bad number. Undoubtedly, there is a boost to consumption this year, but it is without diluting capex. बहुत साल पहले अजय देवगन की पहली फिल्म आई थी फूल और कांटे, जहां पे वो दो बाइक के ऊपर पांव रख के एंटर करते हैं। अपने फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने भी कंजम्पशन और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्वेस्टमेंट को बिल्कुल वैसे ही मैनेज किया है। So it's a very, very delicate balancing which Honorable Finance Minister has done. But it also puts responsibility on citizens of India. If this 1 lakh crore is spent on imported goods or abroad, there will be no benefit to India. We have to spend this goods, we have to spend this money in India. We have to spend this money on goods and services made in India. Then only we will see multiplier effect. फटाके को आप जब जलाते हैं तो सबसे पहले उसकी वाट या पूंछ को जलाते हैं, फिर धमाका होता है। This 1 lakh crore tax rebate should be the fuse of the firecracker which we have lighted. By spending that money in India or for goods and services made in India, there will be multiplier effect.
Absolutely, sir. Sir, getting a little sector specific, ये जो growth आई है because of increased discretionary amount in the hands of consumers, which sectors do you see it going into?
Vishu bhai, I am in the highest tax bracket, 39%. अब मेरे लिए थोड़ा टैक्स में रिबेट आया तो भी क्या और नहीं आया तो भी क्या, मैं 2 रोटी खा रहा हूं, 3 रोटी तो नहीं खा पाऊंगा। So people who are in the high income, their consumption is unlikely to be impacted by this tax rebate. People who are between 7 to 15 lakh income bracket, probably there this tax rebate will have a material impact. Now, are they going to spend money on roti, kapda, makan? Unlikely. ऐसा है नहीं कि उनके पास फटे हुए कपड़े तो तुरंत कपड़े खरीद ले, या खाना एक ही बार खा रहे थे दिन में तो अब 2 बार खाएंगे। एंड 1 लाख रुपए की टैक्स रिबेट से घर तो नहीं खरीद सकते। So it is quite likely that this money, instead of being spent on consumer staple, will be spent on consumer durable. Travel, tourism, low-end consumer durables, entertainment, premium product, ये सब जगह पे खर्चा किया जाएगा। एयरलाइन, होटल, मल्टीप्लेक्स, ओटीटी, इस प्रकार के सेक्टर्स को फायदा मिलेगा।
Absolutely, sir. Sir, एक part of it is, of course, the extra discretionary income in this bracket. The second, one more part is the agricultural schemes that have been launched. So there's a lot of potential in the rural sector side also. This is rather the urban middle class side, and then there is the rural class. How much impactful do you see the rural class being, and in this dichotomy, which one will have a more powerful impact, the rural consumption side or the urban consumption side in the coming few times?
See, rural consumption तो ऊपर ही जा रहा था। Kharif crop has been bumper. Our production this year will be one of the highest. Rabi crop is also likely to be very good because of good water levels in reservoirs. Plus, there is Ladli Behna money going into rural economy. So, overall, rural consumption is doing fairly well. Tractor shares, tractor sales, two-wheeler sales are reflecting that. It was the urban consumption which was taking a hit. Now that is getting reversed with this tax rebate. Going forward, I believe our economy will get supported both on consumption as well as investment. And hopefully that will lead to private sector investment also picking up the pace.
Absolutely, sir. Sir, beyond this consumption story, there were also a number of other schemes launched. They were for nuclear energy. Then we had something on lithium-ion batteries for EV sector. We had the Heal in India scheme for medical tourism. We had the Udan scheme for domestic tourism. So, out of these schemes, which ones do you see which ones are noticeable as per you, and some sectors that should be kept in your watch list?
So, Vishubhai, you know, I'm ex ICICI, in fact, ex ICICI Securities only. So, I recently met a colleague on a plane and he was sharing this incident. His daughter was working abroad and she had a toothache, and she was unable to get appointment in NHS. And बड़ी मुश्किल से अपॉइंटमेंट मिली तो भी रूट कैनल के लिए कुछ 3 महीने या 6 महीने बाद आने को बोला. And the cost of root canal in London is about 1,500 or 2,000 pounds. मतलब बाप का दिल था, बोला बेटा फ्लाइट लेके यहाँ आ जा, रात को भी मैं डॉक्टर को रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, वो रूट कैनल कर देगा, एंड फिर नेक्स्ट डे आप वापस चले जाना अगर नहीं रहना है तो. And she actually came back to India for a root canal. The airfare and the root canal treatment were cheaper than what she would have spent in London. And we are not counting the mental agony and the pain. We have the ability to lower Medicare cost for the world. When Y2K came, the world needed Indian computer programmers to keep it safe. Same way, the world needs Indian doctors, nurses, and medicines to remain healthy. And Heal in India is a step in the right direction. But ये intent से नहीं होगा. You have to do it on ground. Can we create integrated hospitals in airport? Flight leke aao, go to a world-class facility where we are able to do the job and go back. No need for visa, nothing. We also need to flood social media saying that how Indian doctor, Indian medicine, Indian treatment is quick, affordable, and quality and better than what you are getting in most parts of the world. So it requires beyond budget many things to make Heal in India, medical tourism, healthcare in India truly big industry. In this budget, there are few things which I like. I don't think so India is short of talent, but our challenge is making capital available to those talent. In this budget, 10,000 crore is allocated for SIDBI Fund of Fund for venture capital investment. This public-private partnership should be able to make a material impact to entrepreneurship in terms of availability of capital. The second is 20,000 crore allocated for small modular nuclear reactor. India is Atmanirbhar in small modular nuclear reactor capabilities. But अगर आप order ही नहीं देंगे तो उस आत्मनिर्भरता का क्या फायदा? With this 20,000 crore allocation, there will be orders and we'll see small modular nuclear reactor coming up. Last year, we announced 1 lakh crore for deep tech innovations. This budget is providing 20,000 crore, again through public-private partnership. We should become a product nation. Today, all over the world, people know Taj means hospitality. But can we create products which are as famous as our Taj brand of hotels? We spend about $1 trillion plus in import and export of goods. Majority of them go on ships. 6 to 8% is logistics cost. Every year, India pays 60, $80 billion to global shipping companies. Neither we own ships nor we make ships in sufficient quantity. 25,000 crore is allocated for maritime development. I hope we develop shipyards, start building ships. Vishubai, you'll be surprised to know, but in the First World War, Britain won because Indian shipbuilders were building better ships than Germany and in larger quantity than Germany. 100 years ago, we were the shipbuilders of the world, supporting allies against Germany. Today, we have lost that skill. I just hope our golden days of shipping come back with this 25,000 crore investment.
Absolutely. Continuing that point, sir, we had seen some trending themes in the market, which were defense, which were revolving around capex, be it defense, be it I can't call public sector units as a theme in itself because it's very broad, but still capex-led themes as a broad structure, I'd call it. Capital goods can be included in it. And then there's a second theme emerging from this budget, which is the consumer side of the story, which are our FMCGs, durables. Now, right now, these capex-led themes have recently seen a good correction as well, and there is a new opportunity emerging as well. A lot of investors are wondering whether they should take opportunity and average down their maybe investments in capex-led themes, or maybe rebalance their portfolio a little bit to include these new emerging themes of consumer as well. What do you think about it?
So both will be true from a bottom-up basis. If you are in consumer staple companies and hoping to benefit from this budget announcement, you are likely to be disappointed. If you are in capital goods company hoping that this 17% growth shown between center and state grants, it will benefit, you'll need to be in right place. This capex is more towards water, power, renewable energy, especially highways, and so on and so forth. So you will have to sit on your portfolio to figure out who's going to benefit from the government's focus and spending. In our opinion, consumer discretionary, consumer durable, and infrastructure companies engaged in road water works are likely to be bigger beneficiary of this budget.
Absolutely. Going a little forward, let's talking about next 5 years or next 10 years. What are the some of the themes emerging in India that investors should watch out for?
See, Vishubai, right now things are changing at such rapid pace. For example, I have no idea what will happen tomorrow if President Trump does something today, versus how artificial intelligence and machine learning will change the world. So my recommendation is that while you need to have 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, 20-year horizon for investment, you need to be looking at your portfolio regularly and ensuring that it is built for the future. Future is uncertain, which means you have to be nimble. Instead of sector, we have to focus on management. A bad driver driving Lamborghini will crash it, but a good driver driving Maruti Alto will ensure that you reach your destination safely. So apart from the car, it is also important to look at the driver. My recommendation is that today, younger generation is taking leadership role at a much earlier age than before. And you need to really focus on their vision, execution, and governance. You want to be with entrepreneurs who have vision and fire in the belly. And they must be willing to work hard to achieve that vision. And finally, their governance standard should be beyond doubt. Otherwise, they'll make money, we won't. So find out entrepreneurs who have fire in the belly and whose vision, execution, and governance you can trust.
Absolutely, sir. And finally, before concluding, if I can ask you for a parting advice for our viewers out there, that it can be related to a takeaway from this budget or something that they should always keep in mind. Anything from your side?
विशु भाई, बजट तो आते रहेंगे जाते रहेंगे, कभी अच्छा बजट कभी बुरा बजट. You have to make investments looking at underlying theme, not events like budget. Do they change the trend of the course? Answer is they influence it, but they don't reverse it or they don't change it. Today, this is the market where we believe FPI selling is likely to continue. That selling will also give you opportunity to buy stocks at reasonable prices and valuation. This is the market where quality should do better than momentum. High floating stock counters with reasonable valuation should be able to give you realizable return compared to low floating stock and expensive valuation. And most importantly, looking at the market where it is today, please have moderate return expectation while investing. Last 5-year return in small and mid cap was 25%. आगे वो रिपीट होने के चांसेस बहुत कम हैं. So invest quality over momentum, high floating stock over low floating stock, reasonable valuation over expensive valuation, and most importantly, with moderate return expectation.
Absolutely. That was brilliantly put, sir. I cannot thank you enough for sparing time for us and teaching us so much. I hope you'll allow us more such sessions in future as well.
Definitely. Look forward to, as I said, I'm ex-Isaac. So anything for Isaac.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all related documents carefully before investing.